Hello, let me ask you an honest question. Did anyone actually teach you how to handle money? Or did you grow up watching money control people's decisions and emotions? Most of us were not taught money. We absorbed it. We absorbed fear. We absorbed pressure. We absorbed manage it till month end. And now as an adult, we're wondering why money feels heavy, even when we earn more. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't like hearing. Motivation won't fix your finances. You can be inspired today and still make the same money mistakes tomorrow. Why? Because money problems are rarely knowledge problems. They are identity and system problems. That's why I created the Money Click program. Not to teach people how to hustle harder, but to help you understand why you do what you do with money.
It's back, bigger and better. It's back, bigger and better.
After the incredible success of the last Smart Money Kids workshop, a lot of parents have reached out to us asking for another opportunity because their children couldn't participate. We've heard you and we're making it happen. In case you don't know, your child will not only learn how to save pocket money or learn how to budget, instead they'll learn how to think like entrepreneurs and build a smart financial habit that will last them a lifetime. We just have few slots available and registration will close once the spots are filled up. So what are you waiting for? Register now with the early bird fee of 22,500 naira and secure your child's spot today. Don't miss this opportunity to invest in your child's financial future. Register now.
Okay, hello everybody, and good afternoon, and welcome to our Wednesday live session. Thank you very much, everybody who have joined us and those who joined us quite early. I can see that Madam Anne. Madam Anne was here 30 minutes before time. Thank you so much, Ma, for always being present and on time. Thank you so much, everybody who have joined. Black Mysterio, I see you, Madam Blessing, Madam Christy, Mr. Chris, I see you in the building. Madam Ronke, you joined us today. Happy to have you. I will also have Discovering Taria join us as usual. Thank you so much, everybody who have joined us on YouTube. We also have people join us from Instagram. We have Madam Tony George. We have Madam Linda Oko and so many other people that have joined us also on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. I am bringing you this live all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you and thank you. So today I want us to look at the stages of financial growth, right? I want us to look at earning, keeping money, multiplying money, and protecting your wealth. So, so it starts with earning. You earn, you keep, you multiply, and then you protect. So one of the biggest mistakes people make with money is believing that financial success ends when they learn how to earn. I have showed us before what I call the money cascade. And for a lot of people on the money cascade, they end their money journey with just earning. They just earn and they just think that's all they have to do. And that's why some people, when you tell them about financial education, and if you're somebody who is making a lot of money, they will tell you, I'm making money. What do I need to learn anymore? Right? Because all they need to learn about money is how to earn money. But the earning money is just the first step. Earning is just the first step. All right? So believing that financial success ends with earning is a disaster, is wrong. Right?
It doesn't. Earning money is only stage one. That's just stage one, right? You can earn 2 million a month and still be financially fragile. You can earn 10 million a month, and before the beginning of the next month, you are broke. You're broke. All right? You can build a successful business and lose everything. Because there are actually 4 different financial skills you must develop. You must earn it, you must keep it, you must multiply it, and you must protect it. All right? And unfortunately, most people spend all their lives just learning how to earn. Some people are good earners, they can earn well, but it doesn't stop there. If that's the only thing you learn how to, then you have problem in the later years. What is to earn? What does it mean to earn? It's the ability to create income. That's what earning is. The ability to create income. All right? The problem with earning, with the way that we learned it, is that we also did not learn that there are 2 types of income. So the only income that we are accustomed to is earned income. There's earned income, there's passive income, right? And because a lot of us are not accustomed to passive income, we stop at just earned income alone. You know, I told us before that on the money cascade, the goal of money is to move from working for money to money working for you. Working for money, what you get is earned income. When money starts working for you, you start earning passive income. So the first stage is earn. And this is the stage that answers the first financial question for you. How can I make more money? And this is the easiest. Anybody can make money. I've said it before. Even a fool can make money. Anybody can make money. Right? So far you apply the principles, you will make money. Making money is the easiest thing to do on this stage. It's the first stage and it's the easiest stage. Right? So that's the first stage. Now, the question of how do you make more money, right? You make more money by developing your ability to create economic value. The more value you can create, the more money you can make. So any more is dependent on value creation. That's the secret to earning. That's the simple secret to earning money. Once you can create value, you can make money. Money is a reward for value created. That's what money is. It's a reward. Money is simply a reward. Right? So far you keep creating more and more value, money will keep coming to you. It will keep flowing back to you. So how do you ensure that you keep creating more economic value? How do you ensure that you increase your earning capacity? You keep increasing your earning capacity. Number one, you need to increase your skills, improve your skills. What can you do that people will pay for? So just in case you've been asking yourself, how can I earn more money? Ask yourself, the question you should ask yourself is, what skills do I have? What can I do with my skills that people will pay me for? And you see, a lot of people have a lot of skills. They just don't know how to use it. Honestly. And you can practically turn anything to money. Anything. So I saw something one day, some years ago. This was so many years ago. This guy was on Instagram and he does movie reviews. That's what he does. What he does is he would watch a movie and he would review the movie. Right? And if you want certain movies, he will package them in a flash drive and sell them to you. And this guy at that point was making a lot of money from just watching movie. Practically, he was able to turn his love for movies into money. He was able to create value from it. In fact, then once it's weekend and I want to watch any movie, I'm looking for a movie to watch, I just go to the guy's page. And he was attracting a lot of traffic. And not just that, he had a product to sell. So it's about your skills. A lot of us have different skills that we can turn into money. But sometimes the problem is that, like we said during the financial trauma course, the problem is that your trauma is putting shame on it. Some people have skills to sell, but something is telling you, so I'll not go and be telling somebody that, hey, come and buy crayfish from me. So you're feeling ashamed. For some people, the reason why you can't use a skill is probably because you don't know yet that it's a skill that can make you money. There are people who can cook well, but they've never made a dime from cooking before. There are people who can bake perfectly, but they've never made a dime from baking. Every skill can be monetized. Every single skill can be monetized. All of them. You just need to monetize it and charge people for it. There are a lot of things that you do for free that you can charge people for. Sit down and ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do? If somebody can make money with something as well, just watching movie. Somebody can make money by watching movie every day. There's a lot of things you can do to make money from. A lot. Right? A lot. Another thing you need to do to increase your earning capacity is to increase your knowledge. Knowledge. Knowledge is also a capital. Right? What do you understand deeply enough that can solve a problem? There are a lot of us that know things that other people do not know. Your knowledge practically can make you money. There are a lot of us that know things that other people don't know. Charge people for it. Increase your knowledge and get more people seeking that knowledge, and you will sell. Another thing you can increase to increase your earnings is experience. Experience is another thing. Right? There are certain problems that you have learned to solve through experience. Sometimes I will come on social media, and for some people like us that have young children, and you go on social media, you see other people who are combining science plus experience to explain certain things that are happening with your children to help you get along with it. Right? Now I'm talking about maybe things that have to do with health-wise, most especially, not even parenting, health-wise. Oh, when my child was at this stage and had this is what I did, this is what worked, so look at the scientific basis and things like that. There are a lot of things that your experience can do. The problem is you don't think you can monetize it. That's the problem. See, we were wired in a way to think that we can't monetize everything. So if even when we monetize it, we find it difficult to charge people for it. Because we wonder, is it just this thing that, yes, it's just that thing. The person who is getting it from you doesn't know it, doesn't have it. Another thing that can increase your earning capacity is your network, right? Who you know, who you trust, who can recommend you, who trusts you, who knows you, right? Business is another thing. Can you build something that serves people? Can you build something that serves people? Then lastly is ownership. Ownership. Can you own assets that produce income? Right? For a lot of people, once they are able to crack any of this, were they able to crack to use their skills or to use their knowledge or to use their experience or their network? For talking about it, you can, anything can make you money. Anything. Right? Or they crack it through business or through, once they just crack that earning, they stop there. That's where they stop. That's where a lot of people stop. They just stop there. So they just think, if I earn more money, I'll be wealthy. And that's what the typical person will tell you. Why do you think you'll be wealthy? They'll tell you that there's just to be earning more money now, and to just make more money now. Right? But the problem is that earning more does not guarantee wealth. It doesn't. Earning more never guarantees wealth. There are a lot of people that have earned more in the past. Nothing to show. So earning more doesn't guarantee wealth. And if we understand it, we can make a difference. Somebody can be earning 500,000 naira a month, but the person is spending 490,000 naira. The person cannot get to wealth. You earn 500,000, you spend 490 every month. They have very little financial surplus. If that same person gets promoted, let's say they start earning 1 million every month, right? And they decide that instead of saving the additional or saving and investing the additional 500,000 that will be added to their salary, what a typical person would do is that they will get a new car. They will start eating out more. If they used to have lunch with 2K, now they can have lunch as much as 8K and they are okay. If they used to have lunch of 8K, now they can have lunch as much as 16K, 20K. More subscriptions. Maybe they were using DSTV Nyanga. Now they move up to premium. Right? So the person eventually spends, let's say, 990. And here's the thing I want to tell you. If you're earning what, in quotes, you see as less today, and you can't save and invest out of it, you will not automatically start saving and investing when you earn more. You won't. Because you're building a habit. The same habit that applies when you earn 500,000 is the same habit that you will apply when you earn 1 billion. So if you're spending 490,000 out of your 500, if you start earning 1 billion, you will likely spend 990 or even more. Or even more. So your income increasing doesn't necessarily mean that you can create wealth. So thinking that all you need to do to create wealth is to make more money. There are people who make 10 million every month and they do nothing to show. At the end of the day, everything goes. They burn it all. They burn it all. At the end of the month, everything goes. Right? Everything goes fine and good, wonderful. You just passed stage 1. Stage 2 is to keep the money. What is to keep? To keep is your ability to retain what you earn. Right? Earning is about creation. Remember, we said to earn money, you must be able to create value. Earning is about creation. See, it's either you're giving value or you're creating value. Even when you're working as an employee, you're giving value. That's why they employed you. That's why you remain there. That's why you're earning. Because you have value to give in the workplace. Keeping is different. Keeping is about management. That's what keeping is. Keeping is money management. Right? So a person who earns 1 million and keeps 300,000 for future use may be financially stronger than somebody who earns 3 will be financially stronger than somebody who earns 3 million and keeps nothing at the end of the month. It is about what you keep, not about what you earn. If you earn 10 million in a month, and at the end of the month, you spend it all, somebody who earns 1 million and keeps 300,000 is better than you. It's better than you. And if you do not understand that management is what bridges that gap between earning and multiplying, then you're making a huge mistake. And management is the problem of a lot of people. And in case you're just joining us, you've never been in this class before, there's a course that we have called Money Management 101. And it's a course everybody should take. Because that's what a lot of people are struggling with. Money management. So you must learn to manage. You must learn to manage what you have. And for you to manage what you have, there's other things that you need to have in you. Number one is emotions control. A lot of people that mismanage money today is because they can't control their emotions. They spend out of emotions. Number two is discipline. If you're not disciplined, there's no money management happening for you. If you can't discipline yourself to tell yourself that I have to spend within a certain limit, within boundaries, within a plan, there's no way you can manage. You can't. Right? So, management is where budgeting spending discipline, financial planning, emotions control become important. And not everybody who makes money has all these qualities to manage money. Not everybody. Right? Not everybody. And sometimes, the mindset required to make money is exactly not the same that is required to keep it. So you must be able to switch at points to tell yourself, no, I have to. I'll give you an example. Making money is hugely dependent on mindsets, right? If you believe money will come to you, money will always come. Yes. If you believe that you can make money out of anything, you will. Because, like I told you, the law of life is the law of belief. Once you believe it, you have it. That's how the earth works. That's how God designed this place to work. If you believe it, you have it. But you see, that same belief can push you to mismanage if you're not careful. If you do not understand where to stop. Why? Because a lot of people who believe they can always make money, spend money anyhow. Right? They are the ones who mismanage money the most because they believe the money will keep coming. So you need to understand where to keep certain beliefs, where to apply it, rather. Right? You need to understand where to apply it and how not to allow it to affect the next stage of your money growth, of your financial growth. So to manage money, you need to understand what comes in, what goes out, what percentage do you retain, right? What are you wasting? What are your financial priorities? What are your financial priorities? How much goes towards future investing? How much goes towards future investing? Some people make really okay, they understand how much they make, but they don't really know what happens with it. They don't know what happens with it. They don't know where it goes. They don't understand. They don't understand how it's spent. They don't even know what it's spent on. There are people that I can tell, right? Listening to me right now, from the 1st of this month to the 19th of this month, they can't tell you 10 things that is taking out most of their money. They can't really say. They just know they've spent money, but they don't really know how. They don't really know how. They don't understand how. They don't understand where the money is going to. They don't understand where it's going to. So you need to be able to um, you need to be able to understand the movement of understand what goes out. It's not just about what is coming. Yes, you know how much you're making, but do you know how much you are spending? Do you understand how much you're spending? Do you have a percentage that you know that should stay every time a certain amount of money comes in? Do you have a percentage? Do you? Do you know how much you are wasting? Some of us know that, oh, wow, I know I've wasted money this month, but you don't even know exactly how much it is that you've wasted. You can't tell. And if you can't tell, if you can't identify it, you can't change it. If you can't name it, you can't change it. So you must be able to say, this is what it is. This is how much I've wasted. This is why I've wasted. That's the only thing that will lead you to begin to get the root cause of the problem. And you see, another problem, another reason why a lot of people find it difficult to manage is because a lot of people cannot tell what they can or what they cannot afford. Right? See, most times in money management, the question is not, can I pay for it? So that's not the question. The question is, can I afford it? And unfortunately, a lot of people cannot find the ability. A lot of us buy things that we can't afford, and we don't even know we can't afford it. Why? Because we do not know how to calculate affordability. Now, I will give you how to calculate affordability. Before you can calculate affordability, you need to first calculate your net worth. What is your net worth? Assets minus liability. That's your net worth. Please, somebody help me put it in the comments. Net worth equal to assets minus liabilities. Right? And what are your assets? Your assets are cash, your investment, your properties, your business. Your liabilities are the loans, the debts, the mortgages. Everything you own is an asset. Everything you owe is a liability. Right? Now, for you to calculate, okay, yes, okay. Now, for you to calculate affordability, now you need to look at the cost of item divided by your net worth times 100. I say it again. To know if you can afford the thing or time, you need to look at the cost of that item, divided by your net worth. Okay, I can see comments that my network is breaking slightly. See and hear me clearly now. Am I clear? Because I want us to get this formula, get it right. Can you see me? Can you hear me clearly? Please let me know if you can see, if you can hear me very clearly. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Thank you. Loud and clear. All right. So we've arrived at net worth. In the Money Click, if you remember, in the beginning of the cohorts, one of the activities we give everybody is to go and calculate their net worth. So everybody should know their net worth by now. You should know what you're worth, right? Now, for you to calculate personal affordability is the cost of the item you want to buy divided by your net worth times 100. Cost of item divided by net worth times 100. So let's take, for example, you have a net worth of 20 million, right? That's your net worth. Your net worth is 20 million. And you want to buy a phone of 1.5 million, right? It means that your affordability ratio is 7.5%. Why? Because the phone costs 1.5 million. So 1.5 million divided by 20 million times 100, that's 7.5. Right? That's 7.5. Now, in making purchases, there's a guide that you must have for you to know how much you should spend per time as a ratio to your net worth. If you're buying anything less than 1% of your net worth, it's safe, it's okay. It's very okay to buy anything less than 1% of your net worth, that's fine. If it's between 1 to 5% of your net worth, right? Or 1 to 5% affordability, right? Then it's comfortable. You can stay with it. But anything 5 to 10% is a major purchase. And a lot of us invest certain things that are not supposed to be major purchases in major purchases. Anything between 20 to 30%, you must have a very good reason to spend that money. Very good reason, very cogent reason to spend the money. If you're spending more than 30%, then that's way off. If it is not something that is an investment, then you shouldn't put your money there. Above 50%, then no, you shouldn't even try it. But here's the thing I want to show us with this, right? There are people that their net worth is zero. Not because they're not earning money, right? Not because they don't have a good salary. Their net worth is zero because they have a lot of debts hanging on their neck that they need to clear. But the same person that has a net worth of 0 will buy a phone of 3 million naira. It's because you do not understand affordability. You buy a phone of 3 million naira with that low net worth. So until you understand that affordability is a fraction of your net worth, then you will keep making mistakes. You will keep making more and more and more mistakes. Thank you very much, Madam Anne. Everybody needs to read The Millionaire Next Door. That you have the money doesn't mean you can afford it. Imagine spending 7.5% of your net worth, of your whole net worth, on a phone. 7.5% of your whole net worth on a phone. That's outrageous. That's outrageous. So we need to understand affordability, because somebody else who is buying that phone, that phone might just represent maybe just 0.05. So we must understand that having money in our accounts, seeing the money, doesn't necessarily mean we can afford to buy certain things. It doesn't mean we can afford to buy certain things. So please, always ensure, understand that affordability is not the same as just having the money, right? Okay, now let's get to the next stage. The next stage is keeping. Keeping. We just looked at managing, right? Stage 2. Stage 3 is keeping. Keeping. Now, one thing about keeping. Okay, sorry, we're still in stage 2. It's still keeping is still stage 2. I'm saying stage 3 is actually multiply. But before we get to that, right? One thing I want to mention about keeping, which is still stage 2 that we're in, is that keeping money does not mean hoarding money. It's not the same. Some people don't keep money. Some people just hoard money. Yes, stage 3 is multiply. We're still in stage 2. Keeping money does not mean you should hoard the money. Does not mean that. So we must understand that somebody will now interpret and say, they say we should keep money. And does, right? How do you know people who can hoard? It's not always with money itself. You hoard. For anybody that hoards money, hoards other things. You have one thing that you've held on since 1990. You don't want to let it go. You're a hoarder. Look at yourself very well. If you look at your garage, you just see a lot of things, junk piled up there that you don't want to let go. You hold on to it. You have the hoarding spirit. All right? So keeping money does not mean hoarding money. It means spending money intentionally. Right? There's a difference between I don't spend money and I decide where my money goes. There are two different statements. There are two different things. All right? So managing money, keeping means deciding where the money goes. The problem is that most times you don't decide. The money goes where your emotion goes. A lot of times we don't decide where our money goes. We just spend. Our spending most times is not our decision, although we think it's our decision. So let me give you an example. If your tailor sends you some very wonderful designs, clothes designs today, and just tell you, there are new designs in town. Oh, look at this one. Madam, sir, this will look good on you. Look, this now waiting senators they were, now waiting madams they were. This will look good on you to look great. The moment you key in at that point, it is not you that made the decision. Yeah, it looks like it's you. It's your emotions that made the decision. And the person rolled on your emotions. It's a marketing skill. It's clearly your emotions that made decisions for you at that point, because you didn't plan to make any clothes. You didn't plan to make absolutely no clothes. Your decisions were all based on your emotion. Your emotion pushed you. So a lot of times, that's what our decision looks like. It looks like emotions like this. Right? And sometimes we say it is us that decided. It is your emotion that decided. You just followed your emotion. So financial discipline also is not about making yourself miserable. It's about refusing to let every desire become an expense. Stop letting everything you desire become an expense. That's how you become somebody who manages money better. That you desire clothes, new clothes right now, even when you already have clothes, and you can say no. That's what makes you a good money manager. But the problem is that most times people can't say no. See, sometimes people even take loans to get clothes. I worked in the during my IT when I was in school. I worked at the Ministry of Health, and one of the things I noticed was their habits of spending they had. They spend money they don't. They spend money they don't have. So they're sitting in their offices in the secretariat, and then somebody comes by with materials, wrappers. They don't have the money to buy. They didn't even plan to buy wrappers. The person will tell them, "Don't worry, don't worry." They say they never pay us. Say, "Don't worry, just collect. Give me at the end of the month now. Don't worry. It's not me and you again. I know you. I know you now. You know I know you very well. I can give you something and go." They will collect the wrapper. They will collect the clothes and keep. Right? They've bought something they never planned to buy out of emotions. They just see the thing, it's fine for eye. They just didn't buy it because the person told them they can buy later, they can pay later. No, that's not just why. Bought it because that desire, immediately they couldn't say no to that desire, to own that beautiful wrapper they were seeing at that point. So it became an expense automatically for them. All right? So we must be able to refuse. You have to refuse to let every desire become an expense. You have to refuse it. You have to refuse it. Yes, people take clothes for clothes. Yes, people do. Take clothes for clothes. People take clothes for anything you can imagine. Trust me. So, what are the skills necessary for you to keep the money you make? One, budgeting. Budgeting. What is budgeting? Simply planning how you spend your money, giving your money assignments so that your money does not disappear. Number two, saving. Saving is creating reserve for the future, creating reserve for future needs. Saving also is you holding or having leverage to invest in the future. Number three is emergency funds, preparing for unexpected expenses. You must always have emergency funds if you must manage money well. Number three is debt management. You must always ensure, if you have debt already, pay them off. Prevent your past spending from consuming your future income. If you're where you are, stay where you are. Don't stop borrowing. Stop borrowing. Stop borrowing for frivolous things. Right? Don't even borrow to start a business. And I know I've said it over and over again. Don't borrow to start a business. Some people say, "Oh no, when you borrow don't borrow to start a business." It's wrong advice to borrow to start a business. Business people who borrow money don't borrow it to start the business most of the times. When you borrow to start the business, anything can happen. The people who borrow money in business are people that have established businesses, that have established profit margins. They know where the money is coming out from. You borrow money to start a business, you don't even know how you're going to make money from. That's the problem. And most times, some people don't even do background checks. They don't have any knowledge of what they're getting into. They borrow money and they jump into a swimming pool that they don't know the depth without them knowing how to swim well. That's what a lot of people do with borrowing. You borrow money when you want to scale. So that means that you already have established profitability in your business. You want to scale that profitability. So somebody who has established profitability knows where his profit, he knows where his money is coming from. So he knows that if he borrows 12 million from the bank today, he knows that in 1 month, the money should surely come out. If any established business borrows money from the banks today, the banks are not afraid. Them themselves are not afraid because they know the money will come back. There's an established market and supply chain. But when you're borrowing money to start a business you've never done in your life before, you're gambling. Especially when you don't even know much about it. So stay away from borrowing. Lifestyle control is another skill that you need to be able to keep money. You must be able to control your lifestyle. See, stop increasing your lifestyle with every income rise. There are people that once they just add small thing on top of their salary, levels don't change. Levels don't change. Some people that, let's say, they just added one small thing on top for them. What they used to do before that was okay, they'll stop doing it. They want a higher level. They want something more. If you can't control the level at which you keep your lifestyle, you can't manage money. Lifestyle is a big money chopper. It's a big money chopper. You're using iPhone 13. The moment 17 Pro Max comes out, or you want to jump onto 17, next year 18 will come out. You want to have 18. You just keep upgrading every day. Some people are not even upgrading with income raise. Some people are upgrading and their income is not being upgraded. They're just upgrading as it's coming. They just keep upgrading every day. Your child has PS4 today. The next day, because everybody has PS5, you buy 5. Just keep. Generally, just upgrade your life. Right? Just keep changing level. You're using one wonderful car that is serving you well. Then just one small shift on your income, you go and carry an SUV you can't even manage. Right? If you can't control your lifestyle, you have a big problem on your hands. And it's affecting a lot of people. A lot of people can't control their lifestyle. They can't. They can't. You see somebody that they're not anymore, they tell you that they can't enter public transport, it's only Uber that they can use. If you can't control your lifestyle, you have a problem. And lastly, delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is choosing future financial freedom over immediate pleasure. Delayed gratification is saying no. It's saying no today so that you can have a lot of yeses tomorrow. And it takes a lot of patience. Right? Why do people fail to keep money? Because money creates a strong emotional reward. See, the moment money comes into your hands, there's a strong urge for you to reward yourself. There's a strong emotional pull for you to reward yourself. So you receive that extra salary, that extra bonus, you feel more successful. Then you start spending, you start celebrating. You work hard. You tell yourself, oh, I deserve a vacation. You go and spend it all. You receive a bonus. You tell yourself, I need the iPhone 17 Pro Max. You buy it. Another promotion comes. You tell yourself, no, this car, how can somebody my level, after this my promotion, how can I be promoted to this level and I'm using this car? You tell yourself, no, I can't. I need a range. You upgrade. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. Before somebody will get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when every increase in your income becomes an increase in consumption. If you cannot keep money, you cannot build capital. A lot of people, when you ask them why they can't start a business, they tell you, capital. Your salary is a source of capital. Your income is a source of capital that you've been spending for years. That's your first source of your capital, is your income. It's your income. So if you cannot keep money, you cannot build capital. So yes, it's okay to enjoy life, but remember, there's something at stake. You're getting to somewhere. You're going somewhere. Every increase in your income should not amount to you consuming more. For some of us, when we look around us, the only thing we see are evidences of consumption. Nothing, no ownership. We don't own nothing. The only thing a lot of people own are just their cars. No properties, no investment, nothing. Why? Because most times our brain is wired for consumption, not ownership. The extra income that should be coming, you should see a good part of it. Not all, because yes, you should enjoy yourself. If you remember, in the money click, I told you something about budgeting for fun. Budget for fun, fine and good. A good part of the money should be seen as a source of capital. Without capital, you cannot multiply. Capital doesn't necessarily mean that you must use it to start a business. Capital is also what you use to put in the stock market. Capital is what you use to put in the real estate. Anything you're putting into an investment is your capital. So part of the goal of keeping money is to have capital. The excess is capital. We're looking for capital. So your income is your first source of capital. Stop looking for capital all around. Stop. Look within you. Your income can do it. Now, stage 3. Stage 3 is multiply. Right? Multiply. And that's your ability to make money produce more money. Stage 3 is where you move for I work for money. You move from I work for money to money works for me. My money is working too. That's investing. That's what stage 3 is about. Right? So once you learn to earn and retain money, then you need to put some of your capital to work. But if you do not, like I told you, keeping is a bridge between earning and multiplying. If you cannot keep, nothing would happen with the multiplication part. Right? And there are certain things, so many areas where you can put your money for it to work for you. You can put it in stocks, you can put them in bonds, you can put them in ETFs, you can put them in rates, in mutual funds, in businesses, real estate, and so many other productive assets, agricultural, so many other productive assets. The objective here is not to accumulate money, it's to deploy that capital into productive opportunities. Let the capital go out and work for you. So you must always understand there's a difference between saving and multiplying. The goal of money is not to keep the money, there's not to save it, it's to have leverage to multiply, to latch onto opportunities. Right? Because if you keep 1 million naira in cash, you will always have 1 million. But if you invest, in fact, in time, you will have less than 1 million based on the value of purchasing power because of inflation. Now, if you invest that same 1 million in the productive assets that gets you returns over time, then it means that the capital has the potential to grow. So saving is there to help you to preserve and prepare the money for the opportunity. Investing seeks to grow and multiply the money. You need both. You can't do without any of them. And when you start investing, compounding changes the game for you. It is compounding that makes investing a wonder. Yes. And if you're just joining us in this live, please do well to share this link to somebody who will watch it and have some knowledge. Please share this knowledge, right? Share this with someone. Share this live with someone. So imagine you invest 100,000 every month, monthly, and then you are getting an average annual return of, let's say, 10%. 10%, right? So every month you put in 100,000 and you're getting an annual return of 10%, just 10%. You can get more than 10%, of course. We're just using a moderate 10%. Now, this 10% is compounded monthly. If you continue on this trajectory over 20 years, you do it consistently, 100,000 over 20 years, compounded, right? In 20 years, you have a contribution of 24 million. And guess what? That 24 million can grow to about 75 million, almost 80 million, almost 76 million at that 10% return. At that 10% return. That is the power of compounding. That's the power of compounding. Right? So, but for you to multiply money, you need a different mindset. Money multiplication requires a different kind of mindset. Right? A different kind of mindset. What's the mindset? It requires an ownership mindset. You know, a consumer is always asking, what can I buy? When money comes to somebody who has a consumer mindset, what the person is asking is, what can I buy with this money? I know if you think within yourself, you've asked yourself that question before. Money just enter your hand. The first question where you ask yourself is, what can I buy with this money? What can this money get? Buy me now. What can it get? That's the mindset. That what those questions you were asking was a result of your mindset. Right? Somebody who has a savings mindset, a saver will say, oh, how much should I keep? But an investor has a different kind of mindset. And that's the mindset that prompts him to say, what can this money become? How much more can this money make? And having this mindset creates a different relationship with money for you. Now let's move to stage 4 because of time. Stage 4 is protect. Protect. That's stage 4. And that's the ability to keep what you have built. The ability to keep what you have built. It is not to keep money. No. It is the ability to keep what you have built and multiply. Do you get it? Right? Stage 3 is to multiply. Stage 4 is to protect. It is you keeping what you have built, not what you've earned, what you have built. What you've built. Right? Because a lot of people also ignore this stage. A lot of people ignore this stage. Imagine spending 20 years trying to build up 100 million, right? And you lose it all because you didn't think about protection. Because you don't understand wealth management, right? There's a difference between wealth accumulation and wealth preservation. You must understand when to apply. Once you have built wealth, you need to protect it. What are you protecting it from? 1, unnecessary risks. 2, excessive debt. 3, fraud. Poor investment. 4, business failure. 5, unexpected emergencies. 6, poor estate planning. 7, you must be able to plan what happens to it even when you're no more. That is estate planning. What happens to your wealth when you're no longer in this world? Is it going to become a source of family disputes? Is the wealth you will accumulate become a source of family disputes? Especially when you have a large family, you must have an estate plan. If not, you're making a huge mistake. Your children, your family will scatter upon what you built if you don't have a plan. There are families that today, they are still in disputes, even though the world creator has died years ago, but the family is in dispute. And it is that dispute that would completely disseminate everything that the person built. Because once dispute comes in, right, there's no longer protection. There's no longer protection. So protection is stewardship. It's stewardship. Imagine you build a house, Imagine you build a house, right? And you don't just build it for building's sake. You build it well. You put doors. You put smart locks. You install security. Put security cameras. Put security personnel. Ensure when it's appropriate. Have maintenance systems, right? When you do this, building, when you take these steps to do these things in the house that you've built, right? It is not because you just want to build. It's because you don't just want to build, you want to also protect what you've built. So in wealth creation, we must also take steps to protect what we've built. Especially if it will last into generations, we must protect it. Right? What is protection? Protection is 1, emergency reserves. Right? Emergency reserves. When you are building wealth, right, you must have emergency reserves. Why? so that unexpected expenses don't force you to liquidate long-term investments. You can go and put 10 million today in the stock market, and you don't have one single emergency fund. Let's say there's an emergency in the family and you're the only one to come to the rescue. Not even that you're the only one, you have no choice. Let's say your child falls ill. Let's say something happens, God forbid, like we always say, and it will require a good substantial amount of money. If you have investments and no cash reserves, it means you will be forced to liquidate your investment before it can become turned to maturity. It's like planting a tree and the thing has not even matured and you pluck it out of the ground. You pluck it out of the ground. So you must have emergency reserves. You also need insurance where appropriate. Ensure where appropriate. Number 3, diversification. Let's move because of time. Diversification. So when you are investing, try to diversify. Don't invest in just one thing. It is a way also for protecting your wealth. Right? So that if you no go here, you go here. If you go bad here, you no go bad here. You know, like Wike would say, something like that. Diversify. All right? For people who don't understand what I said, when you put here, you put here. That's just what I said. So the next is estate planning. Estate planning. Plan your estate well so that your assets can be transferred in accordance to your wishes and your family structure to the next generation. Have legal structures. Especially when you have businesses and substantial assets, have legal structures. All right? Also, financial security is important. Protecting your account, your passwords, your investment, your personal information. It will be sad that you invest a lot of money and you say, oh, somebody hacked it and took your money. No, you must invest in financial security. And you must have a plan for succession. Succession planning is the last. You must ensure that your business and assets can continue beyond you. And we can't go into succession planning here because it's a lot to talk about. So all the 4 stages work together, right? It's like building a house. You earn, you acquire the resources, you keep, you retain enough of those resources to create capital. You multiply, you put the capital to work. You protect, you preserve what you've built so it can continue serving your goals. If you skip one stage, your financial structure becomes weak. Becomes weak. Now, yes, what if the emergency fund is not enough? Good question. Thank you very much. Remember, I said something about how much emergency funds you have. I said your emergency fund should be between 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. That's the goal for your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. So let's assume that what you require as your living expense every month is 500,000. That's what you require as your living expense. And what I mean living expense, like let's say you have no job right now. What can pay your rent, buy food in the house, pay school fees, or everything you require to live, right? What you require for your living expense every month is 500,000. It means that the least money you should have as an emergency fund is 500,000 times 3. That's 1.5 million. Right? Now, you can have more than that. You can have up to 6 months of emergency funds. 3 million in emergency. Remember, it is in accordance with your level in life. And last, unless there's adverse things that happen, which happen to some people, right? Most times the problems that also come to you are in accordance with your level in life. The times when it is not in accordance is when it's a health issue, right? But most of the time, the problems that will come for you will be within the confines of this 3 million per time. So have between 3 to 6 months. You can even increase it, make it 9 months of living expense as your emergency fund. It will take care of any emergency that will come your way. Have it, keep it liquid. We've talked about, we have a whole session on emergency funds at the beginning of this year. And we said that when you want to keep your emergency funds, keep them in money markets. We didn't say you should keep your emergency funds in cash. Keep it in money market because you can easily liquidate them if there's need for them. But at the same time, you don't want to just keep them idling away as well. Right? Hope I've answered your question, man. Okay. So let's move on and round up. Please, if you're joining us, if you're here, if you're just here for the first time and you're not following us on our page on Instagram, please just click the button. If you're joining on YouTube and you're not subscribed to our page, kindly just subscribe to our YouTube page. All right. Thank you very much as you do that. All right. Okay. So why is it that most people never get past that first stage of earning? So people were never taught. Number one, they were never taught to keep. Yes. You know, we just go to school. We grow up learning, go to school, get the job, earn a salary. That's where the lesson stopped. That's where the programming stopped. That's where the programming stopped. Go to school just so that you can pass well and get a good job and earn good salary. So some people felt all they had to do was earn. So some people struggle and they work hard and they just keep earning. Nobody taught people little about budgeting, about keeping, about investing. Some people don't even understand how their taxes work, but we're going to have more classes here where we're going to talk about taxes, especially the new tax laws that we have. Retirement, estate planning, asset allocation. People were not taught. It is also a problem of our education system. So we become excellent employees, but very poor wealth managers. See, there are some people that where they are working, they've mortgaged themselves to those people because the loan they've taken, they need to work another 10 years to repay the place where they, especially to repay the places where they are, where they work. Right? Number two is lifestyle inflation eats into the surplus. Why people don't get past earning? Lifestyle inflation is the reason. Number two reason. Number three reason is that maybe they just fear investing, which can be linked to trauma. And if you have any single atom of fear to invest, please go and take the Healing from Financial Trauma course. Number four is that maybe they don't move past earning because they want fast returns. You know, there are people that they're actually trying to move, but they are not moving. They want it sharp. The people in the WhatsApp group of Jehovah sharp. Instead of learning, like I told you, see, there's one thing about multiplying money. When you don't learn it, it's dependent on knowledge. If you don't learn it, you pay the price. Oh, you pay it so dearly. You'll be wondering what you did to yourself. You will pay. All right? So some people, instead of going to learn how to invest properly, they follow in hot stocks. Those ones they said, oh, hot now in the market, buy now. If you've not bought it, you don't know what is going on. Right? You follow those ones that have unrealistic returns, 100% return on investment in 1 month. That's the one your ear will just stand up for. You follow Ponzi schemes, gambling. You want to use 100 naira in sports betting to make 100 million. And in that process, you spent 100 naira every day for 30 days and you keep spending. Right? Some people want multiplication without understanding risk, without understanding or gaining knowledge to go about it. Number 5, which is the last, is that people do not get past earning. Just earning at stage 1 because they don't think about protection until crisis arrives. Right? Like some people never think about insurance until something happens. Some people never think about estate planning until they're on their deathbed. You know, my father would always say that you can't say anything without talking about death. So even as we are right now, right? My father has already decided who owns what, who gets what. Because he will always say, just in case something happens, let nobody come and do anything about anything. In fact, sometimes my father would call and he would Sometimes he would take us somewhere. One day he called me, and I went to Owerri, and there were some properties he helped me buy, and he took me and said he wants to take me somewhere. I said, where? He said, come, let's go. He took me to the family house of the people that he bought those property for on my behalf. And he said, just in case I'm no more, this is them. And he introduced me to them. Because he'd always say, you would always think about debts in everything you do. You know, there's a fear of the debts that we have. We fear death a lot. So a lot of times, people don't want to talk about death. Yes. Was he concerned that, God forbid, I will start talking about when I die. You need to start planning for when you die. We all need to plan for when we die because you don't know when it's going to happen. That's why you need to plan. If you don't plan for it, then you're doing your children a huge disservice. And trust me, you are. There are a lot of people that wished that their parents had planned for these things. Their life wouldn't have turned out a certain way if their parents have just taken time to plan before they left Earth. So please, stop being afraid of death. Plan for it. You need to ask yourself, if you're no more tomorrow, what happens? What happens? What happens with your wealth that you've built already? How will your children carry on? What will happen to their education? How will they finish up education? Ask yourself. When you start asking yourself those questions, you start making and putting in the appropriate plans in place. When you shy away from them every day, then you keep procrastinating, and that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. You can't say anything without talking about debt. You can't. You can't. Right? Wealth requires preparation before the problem. That's the mindset we should not have. That's the mindset. Mindset. Okay? All right. So, I think we're going to end here because we don't have time anymore. So you don't necessarily need to earn more money to make financial progress. I think I've said it over and over again. Right? You don't necessarily need to earn more money. Sometimes you need to become better at managing the one you're already earning. Right? And once you can manage what you're earning, you can multiply it. And once you've multiplied, you need to protect it. Then you can now start seeking to earn more because you've established the pathway. So don't spend your entire life trying to master just one financial skills. There are 3 financial skills you must hold dearly. You must understand at every time. You must learn to earn, you must learn to keep, you must learn to multiply, you must learn to protect. Because earning gives you income, keeping gives you capital, multiplying gives you growth, protecting gives you longevity. And when all these 4 work together, you don't merely have money, you have a financial system. Right? And that is the journey from income to wealth and from wealth to legacy. That's all come to the end of today's session here on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. I want to remind you of one thing just before we go today. I want to remind you that our Smart Money Kids workshop is coming up next week. If you've not registered your children, you still have an opportunity to bring them on board, right? So get them on board. The Smart Money Kids workshop starts on the 24th of August and runs through to the 28th of August 2026. The last Smart Money Kids workshop was a huge, it was 2-1. In fact, the crop of students, learners we had in that workshop, they're the best so far. So I'm looking forward to seeing the people we're going to have this time. All right. So please get them on board. All right. Get your children on board. Also, the Money Click program. If you're here listening to us, you're an adult and you're not part of the Money Click program, you might have heard us mention it a lot of times. Money Click, Money Click. If you're not part of the Money Click program, get in. get into the Money Click program. The Money Click program is a 1-year financial literacy program that helps you to understand money better, to change your mindset about a lot of things as regards to money. That helps you to change your relationship, but it helps you to rewire your mindset towards money, helps you to understand money better. Join the Money Click program. It's just 80,000 for a whole year, but the price will go up very soon. That's the truth, right? We're going to increase the price very soon. So take advantage of the price that we have for you now and join the Money Click program. We have the Money Click Kids program, which is a 1-year financial literacy program for children as well, right? Join the Money Click Kids program now. Get your children on board. Some of the things we're learning today is because we didn't start early, right? We didn't start early. So please get your children to start early. Give them the advantage that you never had. The advantage you never had is financial education. Give it to them. Help them to start early. Get them into the Money Click Kids program. We take children between the age of 7 to 17, right? And the earlier they get in, the better. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. Thank you for being a part of our When is the Live session. Remember to share this with everybody, right? Who is your contact. You can even share it on your status and get others to watch as well, right? The Money Click program is open. It's open for you to join. Try as much as possible and be a part of it next year. We kickstart the next cohort of the Money Click program January 2027. And I think we already have a date in January. I think it should be 17th January is our induction date for 2027, if I'm not getting that wrong. Yeah, I think January 7th. Okay, no, not 17th. Not 17th. Yeah, it should be. Yes, 17th January. Yes, that's our date. 17th January is when the next cohort of the Money Click program starts in 2027. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. This is where we'll come to the end of today's session. Thank you for staying till the end. My name is Chukwame Konyedezi. I'm a billionaire coach. Hope to see you again tomorrow, 12 noon, for our Thursday live session. Bye-bye.
Guy, how far now?
Omo, I'm not really fine. Do you know they paid me last week, and right now I can't even boost up to 10,000 naira in my account?
Seriously?
Yes.
Did you budget?
Which one is budgeting? I'm not a politician.
That's why your money is missing like NEPA lights.
But I didn't buy anything serious, shoes, bags, the thing that guys need now. And just like that, fiam, the money has disappeared.
But it's all these little things. That's why it's taking your money.
Anna, but what should I do?
See, you have to create a budget. You have to track your spending. You have to prioritize your needs over your wants. And you have to save before you spend, not the other way around.
So what you're trying to say that this money management thing is no child's play?
It's no child's play at all.
The Money Click is an annual financial literacy program to help you up your money game. The Money Click is not just about money, it's about mindset. So in the Money Click program, go beyond budgeting to rewire your thinking, to rewire your mindset, to change your thinking about income, to change your thinking about money management. So we'll help you grow your income, we'll help you manage it, we'll help you invest with confidence. Money is not just about what you know. Money is more about how you behave. And every day in the Money Click program, what we'll try to do is to influence how you behave about money. This is not just financial education. This is financial transformation. I will hope to see you become a part of it. Thank you.